Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to X-Plane 10, where we are flying as Speedbird 1215. Not 1215 as I originally called out when I asked for my clearance. I forgot that's an American thing where they say 1215 instead of 1215. We're on our way to Gibraltar, and we have nothing to greet us up here above England's green and pleasant lands, but the morning sun, as we shoot on up at 340 knots, 2,400 feet per minute, on our way out of the UK. Not really much else to say, other than I suppose I can disable my anti-icing now. We should have done that a little while ago once we were clear of all the clouds. The weather's pretty shitty down there, but it's nice up here. We do have a bit of a crosswind right now. So it's sort of coming around slightly to a tailwind, but it will turn into more of a headwind once we head right after Southampton over here. Previously, we left Stansted in a bit of a mess and a muddle because I basically got wrong everything that I could possibly get wrong. Impressive even by my standards, I feel, but there it is. I'm sure it was entertaining to watch, if nothing else. All I can say is I usually do better. I usually do fine if I'm just by myself and I'm not recording or streaming. But you know, when I'm recording or streaming and I'm talking instead of thinking, bad things happen. Bad things happen. So anyway, there's really not much else for me to say at this point. We're climbing up to flight level 350, which will be our final cruise altitude for the trip. That's pretty much it, really. I guess now we're up here, I can turn off the landing lights, and that's really all I have to do now. I can pretty much just, you know, go watch a YouTube video or something, because we're on Unicom right now. We started with air traffic control. There is none left for us, though, all the way down to Gibraltar. However, currently, right now, I don't know if they'll be on still by the time we get there, but currently, Gibraltar Tower is actually online. So if we once we actually get to Gibraltar, that could be cool, I guess. But they might not be on by the time we get there. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah, it's quite a lengthy trip now, really. I've got a while to go. Still over England, as I said, just passing over Southampton. There's the Isle of Wight over there. We're now making our right turn to Capex, then Bevel, then Marrick, then Lelna, then a bunch of other stuff. Hear the rumble from those engines. Hear them roar! Yeah, not much else to say, so I think I'll skip ahead. I'll show you a nice time-lapse, I guess, of sorts, of our journey. And I'll be back with you when we're approaching Gibraltar itself, which will be a little while from now, so ta-ta! I will see you in probably just over an hour or so, I'd say, if I had to guess. Not really sure. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. We are about to begin our descent into Gibraltar, and I'm going to talk a bit about the approach into Gibraltar as well. I've been happily plodding along over Spain. There are actually 3 people en route to Gibraltar at the minute, including myself from the UK. There's me here, the Speedbird 1215. There's and we need to descend, so let me just hit that. There we go. There's me, and then there's 2 guys behind me as well. Let me just refresh VATSIM on the other one so I can see this. But there's Easy 481, so an EasyJet, behind me somewhere, and there's also behind him a Monarch 3 Alpha Charlie. And we're all 3 of us are inbound to Gibraltar. I'm in the lead at the minute. Easy 481 is sort of behind and off to my right somewhere, and Monarch, whatever his name was, 3 Alpha Charlie's way behind us. He was in front, but he actually sort of turned around and came back for reasons best known to himself about halfway through the trip, so, you know, strange but interesting. So we're on our way in. Now, the approach into Gibraltar is kind of bizarre. Like, really, really friggin' bizarre. Like, it's not a proper ILS approach or anything like that. It doesn't have a standard terminal arrival route or anything like that. Essentially, we go in down to Alpha, point Alpha here, which I've got dialed in here, PMOS and then Alpha. And, right, this is all compounded by the fact that there's no ATC for Gibraltar online. I mean, I don't think that there is. I can double check that right now. No, there isn't, right? So, which makes this exceptionally weird, because in real life there would be ATC, there would be, you know, a radar controller down at Gibraltar, but there isn't right now. In the sim, on VATSIM. So, basically, we kind of have to eyeball this a bit ourselves and just sort of wing it, because essentially what happens when you're approaching Gibraltar in real life is the radar controller at Gibraltar gives you vectors to a certain point called point Y for landing on runway 27, which is what we're landing on because the weather at the minute is, well, the wind's blowing 250 with 10 knots. So we are going to be flying in to, we would be vectored to this point Y, and from point Y, which is this mysterious point in space somewhere to the east of the airport, we would then begin our final approach to the runway, and I just pressed the wrong button. However, there isn't one online, so there's no way of us knowing where point Y is, as the charts refer to it as point Y. So I'm just going to have to essentially wing it a bit and kind of fly it visually, hopefully, using my navigational display and that kind of thing. It's going to be a bit strange, for sure. Oh, someone in front to my right, 1900 feet below me. Is that Mr. EasyJet? I think he's overtaken me, you know. I think he might have done. I could look on VATSIM, but I don't think it will have updated yet. I think Mr. EasyJet has taken the lead. He's racing us in there. So essentially, yeah, I'm going to be flying a visual approach into Gibraltar, and yeah, that's going to be strange and interesting and that sort of thing, because the approach procedure that they do have for 27 is just weird. Really weird. Like, you descend from point Y down to about 6 miles away from touchdown, where you level off at 1500 feet, and then you start descending again at 5 miles to touchdown until you get to 920 feet, and that's your decision height. And if you can see the runway at 920 feet, then you go down and you land. It's strange. It's really strange. If I remember, I might not have remembered, so don't hold me to it, but if I remember, I'll put some screenshots of the charts up in the video so you can see them and get an idea for what the hell's going on with this, because it's kind of weird. Other thing worth mentioning is I've just realised halfway through this flight that I don't actually have the Africa scenery for X-Plane installed, so, like, Tangiers, like North Africa, I don't know what the deal with that's going to be. Like, it might just be endless ocean where Africa should be, or we might just get a really low-res, janky-looking version of North Africa out there on the other side of Gibraltar. So, yeah, I probably should have thought of that, but I don't know. It didn't cross my mind until we were about halfway through this flight, so never mind. Yeah. So, that's pretty much it, I guess. I need to basically vector myself so that I'm about on a 270 course in towards Gibraltar. And you know, basically from Alpha, I need to get myself onto that course Gibraltar. And unfortunately, the jar design A320 doesn't allow you to put fixes and lines and radials and things on the map like you could in a real Airbus. So I could, as a point of reference, I could put a range ring around Gibraltar, telling me how far, you know, as a visual reference on this ND here, showing me how far away I am from it. And I could put a line coming out from Gibraltar of 270 for an extended center line, which would help immensely. But unfortunately, the jar design, you can't do that. It's the whole fixed page thing is in op, so it doesn't work. So that's what kind of makes this whole approach here mega sort of not very legit and incredibly sort of kind of me just winging it and not really knowing what I'm doing. Easy 481's descending down flight level 330. Yeah, that'll be him then, I imagine. I'll have a look at the old VAT spy. I think that's him pulling ahead of us. Possibly. No, he isn't quite pulled ahead of us. I don't know what my TCAS was on about then. No, he's still behind us. I think he might be approaching for an. I think he might be going for a 09 approach, because right now he's sort of off that way somewhere.
Drag, sir.
And apparently we need more drag. That can be arranged. He's out there somewhere, and like I think he's going to swoop in and come right down, and then basically land in the opposite direction to us. So that could make life kind of interesting. I'm probably going to put in a holding pattern alpha, if that's the case, and I'll wait for him to have sort of gotten to his final approach or to have landed, and then I'll make my approach. Fuel-wise, we're doing just fine. Fuelplanner.com, as usual, sort of completely overestimated the amount we needed, which is good. So, you know, yeah, it's going to be strange. It's going to be strange. I'd be able to do this vaguely properly if I had a working fix page thing in my FMC down here, my MCDU. But I don't, so sad times. I'm just going to have to fly a visual approach. And another interesting, fun feature of Gibraltar is, aside from it being just a generally very short runway with ocean at both ends, so, you know, if we screw it up and go off the end of the runway, we go into the sea, which is always fun. We essentially kind of, I'm actually going to
Spoilers full.
Put some more spoilers out so that we can descend even faster. There's also a fun wind effect around Gibraltar because of the Rock of Gibraltar being in the way and that sort of thing, and because the wind is blowing 250 degrees, basically there's going to be a lot of downdraft and updraft and turbulence on our final approach into the runway. Right as we're literally barely a mile from touchdown, we'll suddenly get hit by a bunch of turbulence, if it's modeled correctly in X-Plane, which I think it probably is, because X-Plane does model crazy wind effects like that around mountains and things. So yeah, that should probably be the case, and I think we can just see Gibraltar right now. There's the rock just over there, and we'll be essentially coming in down here and then making a right turn and then landing that way across there. Yep, easy 481's descending towards LXGB. I'll let him know, I think. That's Monarch 3 Alpha Charlie chiming in there. This is what Unicom on VATSIM is for, effectively. It's to coordinate stuff like this between pilots when there's no, you know, there's no actual controller on. So Alright, we're at 10,000 now.
Spoilers half.
Retract the spoilers a bit. Just look what kind of, yeah. I'm carefully keeping an eye on the rate of descent at the minute because the jar design A320 is a bit funky when it comes to its descents and stuff. Let me just check. He's asking me if the if 27 is the active. I'm checking my weather program on the other monitor at the minute. Hold on. View weather situation LXGB. Oh, there we go. And that's not the button I wanted at all. Oh dear.
We need more drag, sir.
Right, yeah, more drag. Can do.
Full.
Wants me to hold at alpha. I've got the fuel for it, so I might as well, I suppose. How do I do that? With this thing, hold, computed. There we are. Go back to flight plan. Yeah, there we go. Hold, right turns at alpha. And there it is plotted on the ND, as you can see. So I'm going to hold at alpha. I'll let him land first, because I'm a gentleman like that. I'm new at it too, buddy, so no worries. Yeah. Oh, someone's talking to me on Steam, not a good time, oh god. Okay, well, I'll save you guys the trouble of sitting through this, I guess, and I will... Oh, yeah, shit. Altimeter. Durr. Altimeter at the minute is 1024. Almost forgot that. Oops. So yeah, basically we'll hold at alpha until he's landed. He's going to land on 09 because apparently it mucks up his route if he tries to change it to 27, so no worries. I've had to do flights with slightly dodgy FMSs before myself, so I can I can appreciate having issues. Welcome to the wonderful world of X-Plane, where not quite any of our planes work exactly as they should. but we love them anyway. It's one of the reasons I do want to do a video with the 767 actually, because it has an incredibly good flight management system in it that actually it does seem to be able to handle a lot of stuff that the other planes just kind of break down with. So yeah, we might be holding here a little while, folks. So I'm gonna cut the recording here, and I'll be back when we're about to sort of make our final approach. Okay, boys and girls, apparently the runway's been vacated. Our friend in the EasyJet has landed, so it's time, I think, we got our skates on. I'm going to hit immediate exit there.
Approach phase activated.
Approach phase activated. We want to fly on a heading of about 305 after Alpha, so 305 according to the chart. I'm going to bump it over to 310 though. Okay, so we're on our way in now. The Monarch is hot on our heels. So we'll try and make this as quick as possible, hopefully. I don't think I actually filled out any info here on the approach page, although I can probably get away with not doing that, to be completely honest. I'll put in 900 for the DH there. No, MDA. There we go. Back to flight plan. And I'm going to put this in plan mode, which is exceptionally strange, but under the circumstances is the best I can probably do, honestly, all things considered. And give myself a heading. That might do. As I said, I'm kind of eyeballing this, and it's very strange, but you can see the Rock of Gibraltar just over there, or you could. Oh yeah, the visibility is being a bit weird. Yeah, but the Rock of Gibraltar's over there, so I'm using the plan page at the minute as kind of an impromptu kind of fixed thing, like radial circle thing, because there you've got LXGB, and then I've got a circle, a range ring of 10 around it, which is kind of weird, because I know that Y basically is about 10 nautical miles from. Is about 10 nautical miles from the airport, so if I just head more or less north at the minute, you can see my planes moving around here. I should be okay-ish. It's all a bit of an inexact science, I'm afraid, so if I follow this almost as if it was a DME arc, and then make a left turn, we should be okay. And I'll stay at 3,000 again until we're about 6 miles away. And I can bump this up here, and it'll be more or less on this range ring here. That's when we will need to have descended to 1,500 feet by that, and then down to touchdown. It's exceptionally weird the way I'm doing this, but it might work. I don't know. If I had a more correctly modelled Airbus to play with here, it would be a lot easier. And to be fair, if we had an actual tower controller, or sorry, not a tower controller, but an approach controller online, it would be even better. But we don't. But there it is. There's the Rock of Gibraltar. And there is the airport itself. You can see the runway. And what is presumably a Royal Navy frigate, just sort of hanging around off the coast there. So I'm now going to change heading to about 270, more or less. Start making our left turn, as you can see here. And I will start descending to 1500 feet. Get all the lights on that need to be on, I guess. And I'll basically fly it visually up to a point. There's no ILS here or anything like that, so there's no glide slope for me to capture. It's just sort of flying by the seat of my pants, more or less. Admittedly, I probably could have picked a better plane to do this trip in, but to be honest with you, I'd forgotten. Oh, right, yeah, we're 2,500 feet above sea level right now then. Admittedly, I'd kind of forgotten. I'd kind of forgotten how weird the approaches into Gibraltar actually are, to be honest with you. So. So we're at 1500 now, and once we get to about there, like I said, that's when we'll descend. I'll basically take manual control and fly us down. That's all I can do at that point. We're a bit skew whiff of the runway right now, but it doesn't really matter too much. I can take us left a little bit there. I'm using the heading select here instead of taking control myself here, mostly because I'm not lazy, but because I need my hands free to do other stuff, other button pressing, and also communicating on the chat there. So, right.
Speed check, flaps 2.
Let's get everything down and configured.
Speed check, flaps 3. Speed check, flaps full.
Alright, I'm going to take control now, I think. Yikes, that was loud. And I'll leave the auto throttle in, because it's got the good old Airbus green dot speed thing going on, so. It'll pretty much manage that all the way down to the runway for me, luckily. I think that might be the Monarch I can see flashing over there. That guy there. Hopefully we won't collide with each other on the runway, but as long as we've both got collision turned off, I suppose it won't be the end of the world.
1,000.
There we go. Little low there, descending a little too sharply. I think, as far as I can tell, it's not like I have a glide slope or anything here to judge it by. Alright, get ready for the retard call, folks. It's coming.
300.
Good old Airbus. Here we go.
200.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to set auto brake to medium.
100.
Spoilers armed.
Spoilers armed. I should have done that earlier, never mind.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Oh, no retard. Apparently not.
Full. Decel. Reverse green.
Max reverse. Need to slow the hell down. Short runway, which ends in C. So
70 knots.
And that's the passengers complaining about my landing. Couldn't give a damn. Now, turn this around and get ourselves off the runway. soon as possible.
Flaps 3.
Get our flaps up.
Flaps 0. Spoilers armed. Spoilers disarmed.
Yeah, don't want the armed spoilers, but yeah, get those back in as well. And there we go. Stansted to Gibraltar, ladies and gentlemen. It was not what I'd call uneventful by any stretch of the imagination, and that's our pal there, the EasyJet, although he doesn't have EasyJet livery. Good old escort box being rubbish at model matching, but hey. Not terrifically bothered, to be honest. Right. I'll pull off onto here, message thingy, the Unicom thing to say I'm clear of the runway, and then I'll go park somewhere. Here we go. Alright, there we go. Clear of the runway, the Monarch can come in and land, and I need to go find myself a stand of some description. I don't really know what this looks like, to be honest with you. I'll have a look at it. I'll get up a chart on my other monitor of the parking here. It's like, well, there's a grand total of 5 parking spots, ladies and gentlemen. One of them is directly ahead of me right here, so this here will probably do. Honestly, the chart doesn't seem to remotely match the scenery I've got right here, but whatever. I'll take this here, whatever this is. It looks like a stand to me, but who friggin' knows? Aircraft's bouncing up and down lots because of the brakes. And there we go. Parking brake in. Start the APU. Whew! Wait for that to rev up. Starting pretty quickly, thankfully. Wait for that to get to 100%, and then I can kill the engines. There we are. Available. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, very nice. Kill the engines. That means I probably can't do a replay, but I'm not going to anyway, because the replays seem to crash all the time with me and X-Plane at the moment, so I don't want to tempt fate. It probably wasn't a very good landing anyway, if I'm being honest. And there we have it. Get rid of tow. Ground. Get the stairs in, I guess. Ground power. Open the front left door. And there we are. And there's the Monarch landing, right there. Oh shit, is he going to stop in time? Oh! Dude, you need to stop! Oh my god! Bro? Talk about doing a go around at the last second. Holy shit! I don't know if that's just VATSIM being weird or X-Squawk Box being weird, but damn. Alright, I'm not laughing at you, dude, by the way, if you're watching this. I'm laughing with you, but even so, that, well, he's touched down at Gibraltar, alright. I just don't think he touched down quite where he meant to. As Bellins would put it, welcome to VATSIM, boys and girls. Wow. External power. Turn off the APU. Right, well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gibraltar. Local time is, let's have a look. Local time is, it's GMT, isn't it? So, yeah. 10 to midday, 10 to 12. Temperature outside is 15 degrees Celsius. Nice and pleasant, I'd say. Maybe a little on the chilly side. And hope you enjoy your stay. Please stay clear of the crash zone somewhere in the middle of... Oh no, okay, is he... What? He's just sliding down the side of the mountain now? Oh, what is going on? Well, there's a marauding Airbus A321 around here somewhere, folks, so watch out for that. Try not to get hit by it, but aside from that, welcome to sunny Gibraltar. It was a pleasure to fly here, even if I screwed up everything on the ground at Stansted at the beginning. I hope you like this, because this was a hell of a lot of fun. Oh my god, what way to end. Anyway, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching, etc., etc. This Gibraltar scenery is free, by the way. You can get it from the .org forums. Looks like he managed to land in the end. Interesting approach there, dude. Interesting approach. I wish the mesh was a bit better for the Rock of Gibraltar, but you know, you can't have everything, I suppose. Yeah, the scenery's free. God knows how accurate it is, because like I said, it doesn't seem to match up with the chart terrifically well. The terminal building should kind of be there, really. And I have a suspicion that these guys over here, or at least the EasyJet, has the correct scenery, whereas mine is just not even remotely correct. But hey, never mind, it looks pretty cool. They even did the town and everything over there, so yeah. I'm going to stop babbling now. Thanks for watching, everybody. More suggestions are always welcome. Maybe not quite as ridiculous as this one was, though. Yeah, next time. Thanks again for watching, and I'm off. I'm going to go have my dinner. Bye-bye.